I just know because my alarm goes off.
I
forgot them. No.
Good, how are you? Okay, come clean it up.
Or were you just singing? I thought, oh wait, I thought that's what I saw you do. And I was like,
Referencing installation, of course.
oh yes.
Because I typoed that, I got it.
Oh, you want to see God controversial?
This is what I took.
Just this one meeting.
Glad you made it.
This is 2 pages.
Me too.
I'm encroaching too much.
I'm so sorry. I will get you later.
Time started when I call this session of the Whitewater Student Government to order. Thank you all for joining us tonight. If you would, please rise alongside me. We recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Many have asked if days get better than this. I don't think they do. And clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Senator Geelig.
Here.
Senator Hernandez.
Present.
Senator Lang.
Present.
Senator Majors.
Present.
Senator Marty. Senator Patrica. Senator Fennell. Senator Reber. Senator Reyes.
Present.
Senator Schroffnagel.
Present.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Present.
Senator Wheaton.
Present.
Wilson.
Present. Wonderful. Thank you all for being here tonight. With that, we will move into special orders, starting with the Senate oath of office. If you were appointed to the Senate last week, got your signatures verified by the clerk, and are currently present with us, please join me up front with the Senate oath of office.
Should I go through here?
Right here is perfect.
Okay.
How would you like to do it? Given you have been chosen by the students of the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater as a senator on this student government, understanding that you have been chosen to perform such an active and important role, do you accept the position of senator and all the responsibilities, duties, and privileges it will include? If so, say, "I will to the best of my ability."
I will to the best of my abilities.
Repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Zanaya,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to fulfill the obligations and responsibilities of my office,
to fulfill the obligations and responsibilities of my office,
to be knowledgeable of
to be knowledgeable of
and uphold the WSG Constitution,
and uphold the WSG Constitution,
the WSG standing rules,
the WSG standing rules,
and university policy
and university policy
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations, and it's my pleasure to introduce you all to the newest senator of the Whitewater Student Government. All righty, wonderful. With that, we are going to move into item B, appointment of 2 Drumlin District seats. Is there anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for a Drumlin District seat? Going once, twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we'll move to the appointment of 3 Esker District seats. Is there anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for an Esker District seat? Hello, wonderful. Please join us up at the podium. If you could, while you're walking up there, recite your last name to the president and vice president, spelling, and then...
Thompson, spelling
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. You'll get 3 minutes to tell us a little bit about why you want to be the next senator of the Whitewater Student Government. Then we'll move into questions. Your time will begin whenever you begin speaking.
So, as a few of you are familiar, I'm Emily Thompson. I was a senator last semester, and I'm now a member of a Greek order on campus, Alpha Gamma Delta. And I remember we talked a bit about getting Greek orgs more involved in the Senate, so hopefully I can help with that. And I yield the rest of my time to questions.
Wonderful. Any questions? Senator Lynn.
If you were a tool in a toolbox, what would you be?
So I would say the like triangle protector things, where you like make a right angle out of it, because I want to make sure everything's right in a moral sense, I guess.
Director Rose.
If time, money, or labor were not an issue, what would be one thing you would change about campus?
That's kind of hard. I would say I hear a lot about parking, but I know there's some limitations with that. So if we were able to like change the network system, because I have a lot of trouble like submitting assignments and stuff because of the network.
Senator Wheaton.
Seeing that you were a senator last semester, what is something that you look forward to doing if having an opportunity to be reelected now that you didn't get to do last semester? Or something you want to work on that you didn't have that opportunity to?
Definitely help on more projects. I feel like last semester I didn't really contribute as much as I hoped. So hopefully this semester I could find more opportunities for that.
Wonderful. Any other questions? And once or twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we will move into a roll call vote. A vote of aye will be a vote in favor of the candidate. A vote of nay will be a vote against. Wonderful. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, if you could, would you please call the roll?
Senator Healy.
Aye.
Senator Hernandez.
Aye.
Senator Lang.
Aye.
Senator Majors.
Aye.
Senator Patricus.
Aye.
Senator Purnell.
Aye.
Senator Richardson.
Aye.
Senator Reber.
Aye.
Senator Reyes.
Aye.
Senator Schroffnagel.
Aye.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Aye.
Senator Wheaton.
Aye.
Speaker Wilson.
Aye. Wonderful. And with that, congratulations to our newly appointed senator of the Whitewater Student Government. We will follow up with you about next steps via email if you cannot stay, but otherwise, you're welcome to stay and watch the remainder of the meeting. With that, we will move into item D, appointment of 6 off-campus district seats. Is there anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for an off-campus district seat? Wonderful. Thank you very much. If you could, join us up front at the podium here. As you do, recite your first and last name to the president and vice president, and ensure it's spelled correct.
Yes.
Wonderful. You'll get 3 minutes to tell us a little bit about why you want to be the next senator of the Whitewater Student Government. Name, mate. Oh, we've got another as well? Okay, wonderful. Same process, just make sure you can come up, recite your last name to the president and vice president there. Wonderful. Is that correct on the board there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. You'll both get 3 minutes to tell us a little bit about why you want to be the next senator of the Whitewater Student Government, name, major, etc. When you're finished, we'll move into questions. Your time will begin whenever you begin speaking.
Okay, greetings everyone. My name is Ryan Coleman. I'm a higher education leadership major in the HELE program. I received my bachelor's in corporate health communication. And currently I serve as the McNair Scholars Graduate Coordinator. And in that role, I've taken it upon myself to serve as a liaison to several departments across campus, such as the Future Foundations, Student Support Services, and ROC Student Support Services. And to be able to serve as a seat member to the off-campus district would mean that I can further continue to contribute to my student success. Whereas I'm able to understand that there are issues abroad, both on and off campus, and there are ways that by connecting further with the community and keeping up communications, we will be able to strengthen our bonds both on and off campus.
Thank you very much. Next candidate.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Danny Punzel. I'm a sophomore here at Whitewater. I'm a criminology major with a psychology minor. I want to be part of WSG because I care deeply about the student body. I believe that even if there is no issues to be addressed, there always is something that needs help. I'm a firm believer in the phrase, see a need, fill a need. Mr. Speaker, I yield to questions.
Wonderful, thank you very much. With that, we'll move on to a questioning period. Please remember, as we have 2 candidates up, all questions must be phrased in a manner that both candidates can answer. We'll move right into questions. Anybody have anything? Senator Majors.
What prior experience do you have that you bring to this organization? Is there anything that you believe to be higher in that order?
I have substantial experience in Oregon governance via serving on student unions such as the Black Student Union and off campus via the community engagement at the City Council Committee.
So to answer your question, I am currently the Vice President of the Student Veterans Alliance, where we represent all veterans here on campus. I served for 8 years in the United States military in numerous roles, to include squad leader, platoon sergeant, motor sergeant, better opportunity for civil services representative. In high school, I was involved in FFA and student government all the way back then. And I've also done multiple volunteer events throughout the community over the years.
I have a question. When engaged with hardship or trouble, how do you handle that situation?
So, how I like to handle that situation, Mr. Speaker, is I usually take a step back, evaluate my options, take a deep breath, and figure out the best course of action through there after thinking about it over a long period of time.
I seek to engage with hardship via faith, prayer, and counsel from my community.
Any other questions? Senator Wheaton?
If you were a tool in a toolbox, what would you be and why?
Great question.
I would be a power drill. Straight to the point. And yeah.
I would be a multi-tool, usable in most situations, versatile, adaptable for any situation, and overall jack of all trades. Because after all, jack of all trades is better than a master of one, but also better than a master of none.
Senator Healy?
What is your greatest weakness in leadership, and what steps do you plan to take to make sure it won't interfere with your leadership here at WSG?
So my biggest weakness, I would say, is actually to an extent my biggest strength. I'm able to quickly make decisions, while in the past it has caused me to make some rash decisions. How I've overcome that lately is stepping back, looking through the options, thinking about everything logically and reasonably, and choosing the best path of options.
I'd say my biggest weakness would be a proneness to isolation. However, I combat that via frequent communication and visibility.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Once? Going twice? Seeing none? Wonderful. With that, we'll move into a roll call vote. And President Doug is doing a great job here. If you could, before you head out, can we get the microphone back to both candidates? If you could just recite your name one more time in the order that it's written on the sheet there.
Punzel?
Coleman?
All right, does everybody know which candidate is which? All right, wonderful. Thank you both. If you go take a seat in the gallery. A vote of aye will be a vote for both candidates. A vote of nay will be a vote for neither. As we have 2 candidates running, you can vote for both. A vote of Punzel will be a vote for Punzel. A vote of Coleman will be a vote for just Coleman. Everybody good? Any questions? Or once we're by seeing none, all right, Madam Clerk, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Senator Hernandez,
Aye.
Senator Lang,
Coleman.
Senator Majors,
Coleman.
Senator Tricus,
Coleman.
Senator Purnell,
Aye.
Senator Richardson,
Aye.
Senator Rebert,
Coleman.
Senator Reyes,
Aye.
Senator Schroffnagel,
Coleman.
Senator Vanderhyde,
Aye.
Senator Wheaton,
Coleman.
Senator Geelig,
Aye.
Speaker Wilson.
Coleman. Do we have a clearance? Needs majority? Okay. Yes. Does he need seven or six? He needs seven. And he needs six. Wonderful. In a vote of seven votes for Coleman and 13 votes for Coleman? Is that how we're doing it? 13 votes for Coleman, 6 votes for Punzel. Congratulations to the newest son of the Whitewater student government, Coleman. And please feel free to join us again if you'd ever like to run again. Congratulations, Coleman. Wonderful. And with that, we will move to the appointment of 2 Rock County district seats. Is there anyone in the gathering tonight interested in running for a Rock County district seat? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we'll move into guest speakers. Our guest speaker today is from UHCS. It's the wellness educator, Milena Oswald. Wonderful. Over in WebEx land, if you want to direct your attention up on screen, and we have a handout somewhere. Handout in the corner. Deputy Speaker Patricus will pass it around.
Who needs it?
Who needs a handout? There we go, a couple handouts getting passed around.
Make sure we have
Milena, could you give us a word or two so we know how the volume is?
Yes. How does this sound? Can you hear me okay?
I got you. Is everyone else good? Everyone else hears? Okay, wonderful. As we're passing out, you are welcome to get started.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for inviting me tonight. My name is Milena Oswald. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the wellness educator over at University Health and Counseling Services. So I was asked to join your meeting tonight to talk a bit more about Mantra Health. And by a quick show of hands, I'm just curious, how many of you know about Mantra Health, the service available to students? Okay, so many of you know about this service. That's wonderful. So I'm sure you all know that University Health and Counseling Services offers free counseling appointments to students. Mantra Health offers free teletherapy to students, so free virtual therapy to students. And you can have up to 12 free sessions per academic year through Mantra. So not only do they offer free virtual therapy, they also offer psychiatry appointments. So people who may need to meet with a psychiatrist for mental health medications, for management of a mental health condition, they can meet with a psychiatrist through Mantra Health free of cost. There's also a self-care module where you can go through all different sorts of educational, I guess we'll use the word module again, for anxiety, depression, stress management, financial hardship. So it kind of walks you through different steps and tricks to help with those certain concerns that you might be facing. So highly encourage you all, maybe if you are interested in therapy or not, using those self-care modules can be extremely helpful just in, gaining more knowledge about certain things that you might be going through. And then what's really interesting is that there's also coaching. So they have wellness and productivity coaching. And when you meet with a coach, which is a little bit different from therapy, they actually point back to those self-care modules and have you go through some of those as part of their coaching. There's also peer support, which how many of you have heard of Togetherall? Okay, not as many. So Togetherall is an anonymous platform where you can share openly about mental health concerns that you might be facing. And I know in the age of Yik Yak and anonymous sorts of apps, I know that can sound scary, but it is moderated 24/7 by clinicians. So no need to fear if there's anything stated, if someone is a harm to themselves or others, that would be, a clinician would respond to that person, or if anything inappropriate is is being stated, that would be taken down. So no fear for that, but it is an anonymous platform where you can just talk openly about your mental health and what you're going through, and other people can respond in a positive and supportive manner. And then finally, there's a lot included within Mantra Health, so highly encourage using it just because it is free. It is a resource to all of you. There's also a service called Connect Now, which this is their version of crisis counseling. So from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I wonder if the handout you all have, it might say for video appointments 11 to 11. They actually changed their hours from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. where you can meet virtually with a crisis counselor. And then also they have a phone number available 24/7 for crisis appointments as well, which is really nice. And then if you text, so I don't know if you all have the phone number on your sheet there, but I did mention we also have some quarter sheets over at UHCS if any of you want to come pick some up, that has all this information on there. But there's a phone number you can also text from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. to gain support from a crisis counselor as well. So those are the 6 services that are offered through Mantra Health. And I'm wondering if any of you have any questions for me.
Alrighty, wonderful. With that, we will move into questions. Are there any questions? Thank you, Speaker Patrice. Is that a hand?
Yeah. Are the coaches UW employees?
They are not. So the Mantra Health counselors, employees, staff members, none of them are UW-Whitewater staff. It's a great question.
I have a question. Can you tell us a little bit about, I think a lot of us try to really embody this spirit of advocacy in the room. Can you tell us how best to kind of communicate with our constituents, how they could utilize these services, if there's like a website we should readily direct them to? What could we do in that case?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So we actually just released a mental health hub webpage. I'm not sure if you all have seen that yet, but that's a really good way, really good thing to point students toward. So I think if you just look up mental health UW, hopefully that'll show up pretty quickly, pretty easily. But yeah, that is a new webpage that we have that lists all the different mental health resources that are available to students. And then did you have a second part of your question? Sorry if I missed that.
I think it's just how do we best communicate with our constituents as to how to utilize some of these services. But I think the website is great. We're pulling it up right now, I think.
Yeah, what is it called again?
Can we get the URL for that?
Yeah, am I able to like send it in the chat?
Yes, wellness
It should be, so uw.edu / and then mental-health.
Mental health.
Oh.
Is it hub or health?
Health, yeah,
Is it mental/health?
yes. Like a dash, like a side dash.
Mm. There it is, look at that. So we have it up on the screen if anyone wants to take a look. Otherwise, any other questions? Advice question?
Hi, Melina. The Connect Now name, that's a name that Mantra came up with, so it's part of the brand, or was that UHCS specific?
That is Mantra Health specific, yes. So it is separate in a sense from UHCS's crisis appointments. However, if a student does feel comfortable meeting with someone virtually, they are starting to ask, if they want to meet with someone in person with UHCS right there, one of the counselors there, or meeting in one of their rooms virtually with a counselor through Mantra Health. That's another great question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none? Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining us. If we have any other questions, we will follow up with you. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us. You are welcome to stay, but don't feel like you have to. Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely, yeah. With that, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda and minutes, starting with the minutes from special session January 26, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve? Senator Rowe.
Motion to approve.
Seconded by Senator Wheaton. Can I get a voice vote?
Acclamation.
Any opposed? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, with that, the minutes from special session January 26, 2026 approved. We are on to the minutes from February 2nd, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve? Senator Lynn.
Motion to approve.
Seconded by Senator Reyes. Wonderful. Can I get a voice vote?
Acclamation.
Are there any opposed? Going once, going twice, seeing none. With that, the minutes from February 2nd have been approved unanimously. And we're on to the agenda for today. Can I get a motion to approve? Senator Wheaton.
Motion to approve.
Seconded by Senator Geely. Voice vote?
Acclamation.
Any opposed? Going once, going twice, seeing none. The agenda for today has been approved. With that one, student issues and concerns. Are there any student issues and concerns in the gallery? Going once, going twice, seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we're on to external committee reports. We'll start with the Chancellor's Committee on Disability Concerns. Senator Reber, whenever you're ready.
Come up here.
If you would, I mean, you could do it from your seat, wherever you'd like. Podium preferred, but. Senator Reber, you have the floor. Whenever you want to begin.
It's dead. You best project.
So the Chancellor's Committee on Disability Concerns met on February 6th at 1 p.m. During this meeting, they first announced that a subcommittee was needed to review the nominees for the Excellence in Disability and Disability Advocacy and Service Award. And then people were picked from the committee that were on a volunteer basis. So the committee got filled up. And then after that, ASL announced that they had their first meeting with lots of student engagement. The Center of Students for Students with Disabilities has begun their award ceremony planning process, and the event is scheduled for 4/16/26. The health center is seeing a lot of students and staff impacted by just health issues in general, so they're urging and encouraging those who don't feel well to stay home, please. The IT services department had a lot of accessibility changes that were going underway, and they're getting a new PDF remediation tool for both English and kind of math-based text. I didn't get a ton of information on that, and it kind of seems like it's still in the works, but that's going on right now. And also, ITS has retired the streaming service that was streaming.uww.edu, but the videos have been moved to Cultura. And then Facilities Planning and Management is working on accessibility changes and keeping the sidewalks and the pathways safe and clear of snow and ice. And then the Academic Staff Assembly and the library are also working on improving digital accessibilities and addressing the guidelines for ADA compliance. That's it.
Wonderful. Any questions? Going once? Going twice? I have one. Do we have a time for the CST celebration? You said it was March 16th to it was March 16th this year. Do you know what the time yet?
They did not say a time yet, but they just have the event scheduled on the day.
Doug and I went last year. It is a phenomenal event. If you can go to the Center for Students with Disability Awards, it is it's touching. It is inspiring. It's one of the best events we do on campus. So if anyone would like to go, I will kind of be dropping everything to go. So any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we'll move into the Warhawk Dining Committee. Thank you very much. Senator Reber, please look out for cord. Senator Lang, you're welcome to join us up at the podium. Begin whenever you'd like.
Good evening, everybody. This past Wednesday, the dining committee met for the first time this semester. We discussed some student concerns and then moved into general updates from dining across campus. Most notably is the new chicken tender station at Drumlin, and a huge decrease in waste at Ike Schaefer since the new initiative with the reuse basket containers was rolled out. I believe the number was like 600 reuse pass containers checked out in the first week, so drastic increase from last semester. We ended with some updates about the planned dining events for February and March. You may have seen these little flyers around campus. This pink one is for February, green is for March. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to anybody on the dining committee. We should be able to answer that. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I will yield to questions.
Any questions? Anyone? Senator Schwatka?
If a student had a concern, where would they go about meals?
You could reach out to almost anybody, I think, in the room, or I'll yield to Senator Majors.
If there's a student, one of the constituents have a concern about dining specifically, there is a text to chat option that dining would prefer that they use.
If it's urgent, get in contact with someone as soon as possible.
Senator Reyes?
Yeah, I was wondering why aren't there any sauces in drumlin? Like there's no like...
President Brett?
That's a great thing, you should text to chat.
Senator Reed?
Am I able to comment?
Yeah, of course.
Or answer that? They moved the sauces from last semester to this semester. It's in between two eating places. And there's not only text to chat, but right underneath that station, they store all the sauces. So you can literally find a dining employee and say, hey, ranch is out. And they'll restock it right there within like 20 seconds. Also, text to chat is there's flyers everywhere. I have it saved in my contacts as dining phone number, and I text it all the time saying, hey, went down to the dub, ordered this, and didn't receive it, and I don't have my order. Can you find my order? Text chat's a really great option. Additionally, we are voices for the students, and if you don't know the answer, someone in this room definitely has someone to contact to find the answer. So don't feel free to reach out to other senators, directors, president, speaker, Senate leadership. Someone in here should have the answer.
Wonderful. That is an elite move right there from Senator Wheatman, saving the dining phone number in your contacts. If you haven't done it, it's an elite move. Senator Majors.
Just a point of clarification, there is a different dining text to chat number for each dining hall, so just be aware of that fact.
I did not know that.
Oh my gosh, this is news to me as well. Is there?
You were both at the meeting.
That might be.
I was not.
So on the dining website, there is those numbers for each specific dining hall.
I have a question. Is there something different for each Just Baked as well?
I believe it's just spelling the building. So
Okay.
I don't believe there's a number specifically for the library.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on office report, starting with the report of President Doug. President.
Good evening, everybody. This week we had cabinet earlier today, and CRC met as well. Tomorrow morning I meet with the chancellor, vice chancellors, and other shared governance leaders. This is a monthly meeting where we have, it's a rotating agenda. This month they're looking for some updates on the WSG advisor, search, ledge, things like that. So I'll give you an update on that. The Black Student Union is meeting tomorrow, 5 to 7 in the Old Main Ballroom. That's an event called You've Been Served. I'll be attending if anybody wants to come with me. Fun fact, Black Student Union is the only student org that I've paid my dues for all 4 years. I quite enjoy their programming and try to make it out as much as I can. Additionally, the Chancellor's Committee and Student Success will meet. Gabby and I have a 2-on-1 with the clerk, and I have a 1-on-1 with Gabby Drale at the end of the week. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I will yield.
Any questions for President Brett? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we move on to the report of our Vice President, Gabby Drale.
Hi everyone. So as for last week, we had the involvement fair, so thank you to those that were involved and tabled. That was super helpful. And then another key thing was the distance education fee working group meeting, which Olivia will get into. And then the 2-on-1 with some of the e-board. For this week, I had a meeting today to discuss finalizing the gala reservations. So I will have an update for you all regarding that next week. A 2-on-1 with Sadie, and then reviewing the applications for the provost and vice chancellor of academic affairs search. So those are the key things for this week. So with that, I yield to any questions.
Any questions for Vice President Ryan? Once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to the report of WSG Advisor Kim Clark.
I I've just been in support mode the last week, so helping with the planning of other events that are going on and working to get those who need to be paid. And with that, I yield to Carl.
Any questions for our WSG advisor? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on the e-board report, starting with the report of our directors, academic affairs, Olivia Gross.
Hi everyone. So last week, like Abby mentioned, we met with the distance education fee working groups. We were split into smaller little working groups who were working on that. I met with Dean Ambrose, who's Dean of Kobe. Met with Kim to start planning for the instructor awards, which my committee will learn more about next week. I met with Dean Vick, who is the Dean of Grad Studies, and I attended GERT. This week, I am meeting with Dean Dugan, who's the Dean of Arts and Com. I am meeting with Provost Fox. I'm attending the campus-wide advising model, and then one thing that I missed, I'm attending the curriculum handbook update. And with that, I yield to questions.
Any questions for Director Gross? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on the report of our Director of Student Affairs, Maddie Rosewood.
All right, hi everyone. Last week I did a brief presentation at the all-grade meeting, worked on some scheduling stuff with some campus stakeholders, and then prepared for the student affairs committee meeting that's coming up this week on Thursday at 8 a.m. All of you that are on the committee should have gotten that email, and then you also received our agenda from the request. Going into next week, today I'm just doing the cabinet and senate meeting. Tuesday, I'm working a lot on the Greek Life Planning Committee, along with Associate Director Turner. Wednesday, we have a meeting with Kristen Philhauer and Tony Schmidt, with Associate Director Turner as well. Yeah, I already said that meeting. And then on Friday, we're working on some It's On Us planning as well. Just a lot of finalizing meetings with campus stakeholders, correspondence with the Greek members on who their representatives are for that. And then the It's On Us planning. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Reach out if you need anything or have any questions or concerns. I was also going to mention a few things this week. The last MLK event is in the Hamilton room tomorrow from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Involvement award applications are open. HSC applications are open. There's a lot of resume applications. Yes, student employment's open. And then the resume cafe is open every day this week in different locations, which can all be found on Connect 2. I also have them written out, so if anyone needs those, let me know. Greek Life is doing all of their final recruitment stuff this week, so if you're interested, Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. IFC will be hosting their bid night, and then PHC has their bid day at 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. So, sorry, that was a lot of information, but if you have any questions, let me know.
Any questions? Going once, going twice, seeing none. With that, we'll move on to the report of our Associate Director of Student Affairs, Dean Turner.
Hello everyone. I don't have too much to update you on. Last week I did my 2-on-1 meeting with President Doug and VP Abby. I'm still working on coordinating meetings with campus departments, and last week we started to prepare for our committee meeting this week. This week I will have some office hours availability, and we'll, like Director Rose said, we'll be meeting with Kristen Flower and Tony Schmidt, as well as our committee meeting on Thursday at 8 a.m. while continuing our It's On Us planning. With that, I will yield.
Any questions for Associate Director Turner? Going once, going twice, seeing none. Wonderful. Without move on to the report of our Director of Communications, Paige Linneman.
Good evening, everyone. So last week I finished designing facts for the e-board and senators, created a new spring semester social media calendar, had a one-on-one with Vice President Reiser, designed a post for Valentine's Day and upcoming events, also brainstorming ideas for new Instagram posts to drive up our impressions. This week I will be meeting with my committee, which I did today, design Instagram graphics and brainstorm for outreach post ideas. Other than that, I yield to any questions.
Any questions for Director Linneman? Going once, going twice, seeing none. Wonderful. That will move on to the report of our WSG Clerk, Sadie J. West.
So last week I worked on the election packet, updating the calendars, locations. I sent that out. Everyone should have gotten it, I think, I hope. Worked on reserving the down under. And it's kind of hard to do without Jan, I found out, because she just sent one email and did it right away. Kim's been lots of help with reserving everything, so. I put signage up of reminders of no election talk in the office, which I know some people think it looks ugly, but it's there for a reason. Worked with President Bradley, create a plan for election-related posts, and then reached out to getting the committees going. This week, the election packet will be out by 5 p.m. tomorrow, and then 5 p.m. tomorrow in the SAI conference room, there's a mandatory candidate info session. And I'm hoping have both committees meet by the end of this week. It looks like Records and Archives has a good chance Thursday before IFC midnight, but we can't hit quorum for elections at all this week, so I don't know when we're gonna do that. But other than that, please send me your committee reports if you present one tonight. And with that, I yield.
Any questions for Madam Clerk? City West. Once, twice. Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we'll move on to the report of our Senate parliamentarian, George McDowell.
Hello, everyone. Last week was not too busy for me parliamentarian side. I had a lot going on at work, so that was my week. I did the involvement fair. If you were at the involvement fair, I will be sending out emails shortly, basically saying, hey, I know you did the involvement fair, that counted as an outreach event. You have two more outreach events to go, or however many. I plan to send those out sometime this week. I also have I worked on some of my outreach event plan. I'm trying to solidify that. My goal is to do it hopefully this week. I need to speak with some directors about it a little bit more to really solidify the plans. But I really want to focus on doing a lot of one-on-one conversations with constituents. As a part of that, I am working on getting all senators these notepads. I've given most of you these at this point. If I haven't, can I see a show of hands to who I haven't given these to yet? Okay. I will be around shortly and handing these out to those who I haven't given these to. But they are basically for whatever you need for WSG. I like to use mine for constituent concerns when I'm talking with them, so it doesn't look like I'm just sitting there on my phone while I'm having a conversation. But just whatever you need to write down a note, or if you're making like a long, complex motion, you're making a amendment to or a content change, and it's multiple sentences long. It's nice for the clerk if you write it out beforehand and just rip it out of your little notepad and give it to her after the meeting, so she doesn't have to try and figure it out in the recording afterwards. Just stuff like that. Also, last week, we put up a whiteboard in the office that has the number of senators currently in the body and the number that is needed for quorum. That is just so that we know how many, for those who aren't aware, quorum is basically the number of people that we need in order to do any official business. So if we surpass that number, we have quorum and it constitutes a meeting under Wisconsin's open meeting law. So just be mindful of that. If you're in a room and there's, you look around and there's 8 senators, you have a quorum. You cannot talk about certain things without it constituting a meeting. So just be mindful. The whiteboard is up so that you can keep yourself in check. I believe that is all, and I will yield questions.
Any questions? Going once, going twice, seeing none. You can also always find what quorum might be in the WSG official roster document. It's right there. It says the number of current senators we have, number for quorum. It's got a bunch of ratios on the bottom. And by golly, this Deputy Speaker Patricus doing a good job of keeping that thing up to date. Matter of fact, we are on his report. Deputy Speaker Patricus, what do you got for us?
Happy Monday, everyone. Last week, I had a one-on-one with Thomas Zowski to look at some policy questions in County Advisory Committee. This week, I had Communications Committee, met with CFAC advisors, Cabinet, and CRC today. CFAC is tomorrow. IEC will be meeting Wednesday to elect Vice Chair and Secretary. Location TBD. That's the only time the committee is available. Friday, I have my Housing Exemption and Contract Release Committee. And then if you did an office hour last week and did not fill out the form, please do that. If you did one and you filled out the form, thank you so much. You make my life significantly easier. But I will probably send out an excuse absence notices tomorrow if you did not do it. So get those in. And if you have any questions of what that looks like, you know that. With that, Mrs. Grego.
Any questions for Deputy Speaker Patricus? Once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful with that round of my report. Last week, I had the WDAC, which I think I'm going to have in the I don't mind WDAC. It's Warhawk Dining Advisory Committee. And I just like when we have acronyms. So I like the WDAC. We might transition to WDAC. But as of now, I'm getting a bad look from Senator Majors. So maybe we'll stick with WDAC. This week, CRC, we had just before this, Cabinet. We're going to have a Senate officers meeting. Might swing over to SUFAC tomorrow. And I have the Course Materials Committee as well this week. We are electing a brand new chair. I was chaired by Eric Left for a very long time. He did a wonderful job, did some of the best work that committee's done in a long time. And now we're going to need a new chair. So if you have any questions about that, I'm sure I'll do a report next week. You all got an email from me this weekend. You should have all gotten an email from me, bar one of you, I think, maybe, possibly, Senator Richardson, maybe. But it was about WSG spring training. The date for that is confirmed. It will be on the 20th. If you can't make it, please communicate that with Deputy Speaker Patricus. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Senator Speaker Wilson, Isaiah, I don't know if I can make it. There's not a time. We will have time for you communicated. I'm going to say Wednesday, but probably tonight. I just need to touch base with these folks right here. It will be multiple hours. It is mandatory, but communicate with the Deputy Speaker if you cannot make it. And if you're there for a portion of it, and you have another serious excusable obligation, that's totally all right. Fine by us. I guess I'm not putting words into the Deputy Speaker's mouth, but he's a nice guy. I know him well. So we have about time for that laid out. And in terms of some of the work I do for the AI stuff that President Bradley has tasked me with, I did some of that last week and this week as well. Does anybody have any questions for me? Ooh, totally forgot to mention one other thing. We're early in committee season. So if you've reached out to your external committee chairs or one of the fine folks up there who is obligated by the standing rules to chair a committee, and they're like, hey, this is our meeting time. Does this time work for you because it works for everybody else? And it doesn't work for you, or totally all right. You're just really not jiving with what's going on. I can't guarantee that we'll be able to move you, but these things are malleable. Come ask. If you're really not vibing with something, we can pivot if needed. But it's early, and it's better you do it early than do it late. Do it late, messy. Do it early, less messy. Any questions? Going once, going twice. Seeing none. I don't think I said this after appointments this, today. If you were appointed to a Senate seat, please come see me after the meeting. With that, we move on to unfinished business, starting with S-25-2606, the Joint Advisor Appointment Nomination, Executive Truce, and I'm passing the gavel over to Deputy Speaker. CRC.
We are in discussion on the joint advisor appointment, nomination, and execution treaties. We will start with CRC report, which met today to cover pros, cons, and organizational effect as required in our standing rules. I will yield to Chairman Reber.
So, as he said, we discussed this bill during CRC today, and some of the pros were that it codified the picking of an advisor and outlines what an advisor should do, or is to do. It allows for the ability of 2 advisors, and there was not a defined process before this, and now there is a defined process. This makes the advisor an ex officio member at all WSG meetings. It fleshes out the basic requirements of an advisor. It states what the advisor must and cannot do. It includes other shared governance groups and still allows WSG to kind of sit at the helm. If the advisor nominee is not confirmed by the Senate, it starts a new search rather than just going to the second choice. The advisor application requirements are chosen by the WSG president, and it requires the advisor to have an understanding of all the governing documents. The cons were that the bill is too long. If multiple advisors are picked, it does not delineate well what their roles would be and how they would differ. It over-describes the process of electing an advisor, and it should be the decision of the people at the time. This makes the advisor an ex officio member to all WSG meetings. That was a pro, it's also a con. And then the person that said that would like a distinction between ex officio and an advisor. The advisor is required to submit a report. The advisor applicant requirements are chosen by the president. That's also a pro and a con. And then unsure if BA is clear about how it is the start of the process, and wondering if that would be a little clearer if it started somewhere else, or if there's something else input to start it. And then for the cons, for the organizational impact, it outlines the process of selecting an advisor and what an advisor does, and it provides a process to remove an advisor.
Any further discussion?
I think it's a great bill.
Mr. Wilson?
I think it's a great bill.
Senator Whedon.
I too also think it's a great bill, but I also am excited to hopefully get this implemented because we need an advisor and we love our lovely interim advisor Clarkson, but even making that title go away from interim to full would be great if they want that opportunity, and I think this bill will give them that option.
I have a question for the body. I'm
You're
waffling on something, and I have a question for the body. Is that a word, waffling, whiffling?
Waffling.
Waffling. I'm waffling on something, and I've scrolled to it for ease. B here, I noticed this during CRC, says, upon vacancy of the advisor or knowledge that the position will soon be vacant, the WSG shall initiate a search to fill the position by the following process outlined in these standing rules. Now, my question to the body, and I really don't want to be this guy, I don't want to get too picky, is outlined by the following process clear enough?
Position by following the process.
Following the process.
By following the process outlined in the standing rules? Small issue, and I'm just looking to kind of give it to the body and see where it goes. I don't think it's clear enough that this is the process. It's just kind of my vibe right now. And I'm looking to hear what people, and anyone can ask a question if they don't know what I mean by that. And I can give an example.
Senator Dealey?
What do you mean by this is the process?
Okay, wonderful. So, if we go to this right here, the president will determine the specific application requirements. I would ask the body, is it clear when the president is determining the special requirements? Is that clear?
Senator Lang?
It's not really specified anywhere, so.
I would say typically you have a find the following process and then outline the process. It's saying by following the process in these standing rules, which leads you to believe that it's somewhere else in the standing rules. Is my interpretation. Senator Wheaton?
Is there a chance that in writing the bill, following and the following were switched when writing it, or is this just something found now?
And President Bradley, we talked about this for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's something that was just noticed.
Okay.
We discussed it and got feedback on it, decided the way we decided to go.
President Bradley, I have to ask. Our Speaker Wilson, I guess, either this minute. Were either of you proposed an idea to have it say by the following process? Maybe not that exact wording, but something similar to that.
I believe that's how we originally had it written. My understanding, my recollection.
Do you have a reason as to why it was changed?
I believe you and I had a conversation after that meeting it was changed. I'm not quite sure whose decision or opinion was to change it, but somebody made a concession.
If no one has anything else, I will move to reopen content changes. Look for a second, seconded by Senator Lang. More discussion on that motion. I just think I have that.
So the motion would be to suspend the rules. It would be suspend the standing rules, which does not have discussion.
So we did last week, because you have content changes.
Yeah, so it would be to suspend the standing rules, because the standing rules says that all content changes to any legislation will be solidified and voted upon by the Senate at the first meeting.
That's great. Okay. Who's listening? I've been consulted by our group parliamentarian, and we were out of line with our rules last week. And so in order to bring them back into our rules, the motion has been amended to suspend the standing rules to temporarily, or to reopen content changes.
No.
The motion has been amended to that. Sure.
Are the standing rules being suspended to only reopen content changes? Are we still going to vote on the piece of legislation tonight, or are we postponing the voting until?
Motion is only to reopen content changes. And you would need to suspend the standing rules in order to do so.
So we are still voting on the bill tonight?
That's the motion.
Okay.
Seeing as the original motion was not in line with our standing rules, and has been amended to now fit our standing rules, Senator Lang, you seconded that. You wish to continue seconding it? No. Okay. So a motion has been made. Is there a second? Seeing no second, the motion fails. Alright. More discussion. Still. A little tense there, well.
I would say there's a few little things that give me some pause, and I know there's some things that some of you have talked about, mainly ex officio and what that means. What I'll say, yeah, okay. What I'll say is, if you recall from last week, there's going to be another piece of this added once we have an advisor or advisors picked out. It was written specifically like that, so that we can kind of tailor it to who the advisor is, or if it's two advisors, we can clarify what that split looks like. I'm just throwing out there that might be an appropriate time to change something through an issue here, so we don't have to suspend our standing rules.
Senator, we good?
Point of clarification for the speaker real quick.
Deputy Speaker. Yes.
Deputy Speaker, my apologies. I have a question. Am I able to ask?
Yes.
Okay. To the submitters, when you brought this up just now, to me, I'm interpreting this as a hesitation. Almost as a hesitation, a little, giving me the vibes that you might want to have it wait a little longer so we can fix those changes, because if we vote and this passes tonight and there's, I guess you could say, an error or misinterpretation of it, and that derails or bad things happen when we go to this process that's being discussed and confused right now. Can you clarify that a little bit for me?
I do not in any way want this to pause. I think it's very important that we proceed with the process. And I do not have any pause about B not being clear. I think it could be clear, and I would like to see it in the future. I can tell you the process is mainly with the president, the speaker, the vice president. At least Isaiah and I have written this bill together. I can tell you that, we agree, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that B, A through F is the process. It should be followed in that order, top down. And that's how it's going to be done by the people who are leading the search. So I can tell you, at least in the meantime, that's how it's going to be followed as written, A through F in chronological order. I think if there is some pause about B not being 6.9, B not being clear enough, an appropriate time to fix that would be in the next update of this.
I do not have any pause.
Speaker Wilson, you're recognized.
I do not have any hesitation. I do have some hesitation about the clarity of B. I could assure you that the people who are currently running the search intend to run it as though the process will begin following from A to F.
And that's on the record.
I don't know if it's the right thing, but like point of clarification, is there any standing or like are we able to within our standing rules both, I'm not talking to Jordan for now, within our standing rules for us to make content changes tonight and pass this bill?
Yes, but the piece of legislation would have, from my understanding, the piece of legislation would have to be resubmitted tonight. So the whole process would have to restart, so we wouldn't vote on the bill until next week. A suspension of the standing rules would, it wouldn't be anarchy. It would only temporarily suspend the standing rules in this one instance for this one particular group.
Senator Richardson?
So just to clarify, we're like arguing whether to postpone this because the point B where it says by following the process outlined in these standing rules isn't clear enough? Is
So
that?
right now we're in discussion on the bill itself.
Okay.
And so Speaker Wilson, who's a submitter on the bill, raised a concern that he just discovered today. And a motion was made to suspend the standing rules to change that. No one seconded it. So we could not proceed with that. So we're still in discussion on the motion. So if you have anything you'd like to say about the bill, now is that time. And you have the final, so soon.
Yeah, I just have a follow-up. I think that like the word "these standing rules" kind of clarifies that anything following is the standing rules. So I think that's kind of like clear enough.
I have a different.
Speaker Wilson, you're right.
I'm sure we are going to circle to that. I have a completely different thing. I want to start by saying it does not give me hesitation. It does not give me pause about us proceeding tonight. But I was wrong last week. 100%, 1,000,000% in my mind wrong last week. I don't think the advisor should be an ex officio member. Deputy Speaker Patrikas did a good amount of research, circled back with me about what ex officio means. And we were all kind of flying on the seat of our pants, and I was totally wrong. So I think as this bill progresses to the second stage, if we resubmit this and kind of make some further changes to our standing rules, I do believe this is something Doug and I disagree on. I want to make that clear. I was just saying that I was wrong last week when I said what ex officio meant, which is like a seat at place at the meeting.
Yeah, I mean,
President Bradley?
Since I was named or referred to, I'd like to jump in. Our standing rules take precedent over Robert's rules, always. We have that spelled out. I think we have precedent of what ex officio in our organization looks like, and that's how this section was written. I think if we want to clarify something, we shouldn't clarify it in this section. We should clarify it when we define what ex officio means for our org.
I would agree with that, by the way. I just wanted to.
Mr. Wilson, you can be recognized.
Mr. Chair, if you may.
You're recognized.
Wonderful, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would agree with that. I think President Bradley is right in terms of our standing rules takes precedence over anything else in terms of what ex officio means. But ex officio is not explained really at all in our standing rules, and thus it defaults to the explanation of Robert's rules. So the only thing that our standing rules says about Robert's rules is that they are not officially a voting member. And then Robert's rules has a bunch of stuff that it says about ex officio, in which I was wrong about, is kind of the point.
Okay. You should always strive to learn, and that's something I've learned over the last week. I've dug my copy of Robert's Rules of Order, 12th edition, to look what does it mean to be ex officio. And I have to say I was wrong last week in that to make my motion that ex officio should not be for all except Suspect. I was wrong. The advisor should not be an ex officio member of anything. And I'll read from Robert's Rules what it says. If the ex officio member of the board is under the authority of the society, that is, he is a member, an employee, or an elected or appointed officer, so advisor would be a member here, right? There is no distinction between him and the other board members. The only distinction granted to ex officio members in our standing rules is that they are non-voting, which means ex officio members can count towards quorum. They can make motions. Their name has to be called during roll call. As it currently stands, I am uncomfortable voting for this bill to pass. Senator Regan.
I am also growing to become more uncomfortable with passing this bill. With my interpretation of slight hesitation, and honestly from my looks at it, especially what was additionally revealed about the ex officio matter, it seems like this bill needs a little more time. Even if that's one more day and we get it on next week, I would be more comfortable with, and from a few comments being made, it seems like the search is already kind of underway for an advisor. A few comments that I heard? No. Okay. I misheard the comments, but it seemed like, anyway, I really personally am uncomfortable with voting on a bill that I think that needs to be changed and not complete.
Speaker Wilson.
No plan is a perfect plan. I think this is as close to a perfect plan as we have in front of us. I have relatively zero pause. I think there are always things that we have baked into this plan, a revisitation. I think the bill should pass tonight so that we can begin searching for a new plan.
Senator Richardson.
Have we found like any alternative words besides ex officio to describe the advisor?
Perfect, you asked. I have something written that I was going to propose if content changes were reopened. Seeing as they weren't, we are unable to do that. But President Bradley.
Yeah, 1.6, if anybody wondering, is the definition of ex officio. Deputy Speaker is correct. It's not super specific. It reads ex officio. This term ex officio, lead term ex officio, is synonymous with non-voting in all instances of its use in this document. I too am given some pause by what the Robert's Rules definition of ex officio means. The Speaker and I have just agreed via handshake. We can do it again if nobody believes us. There will be a piece of legislation. There will be a piece of legislation before this body next week changing that definition to clarify it. I do not think that how it's currently written, also giving that we want to update it by passing legislation to change 1.6 instead of 6.9. I do not think that this is an issue worth delaying this bill for. It's very important that we get this up as soon as we can so we can start our search. And I think voting this bill down tonight would hurt our organization and prevent us from following through this process in a manner that would be beneficial for the Whitewater student government and the student body as a whole.
Senator Hewitt.
Could you actually give some of the examples of words that you would substitute official member with?
So what I would do, if you could scroll to DA. What is it called? Currently says will serve as an ex officio member of all WSG meetings, including Senate meetings, executive board meetings, and all internal committees. What I would change it to is will give advice serving in an adversarial capacity to the Whitewater student government and its constituent bodies, including the Senate, executive board, internal committees, advisory councils, and SUFAC. And a big thank you to Senator Majors for helping me workshop that. Senator, answer the question. Parliamentarian for now.
I think to vote this bill down would be unwise, because it would delay it an additional 2 weeks. I think if a member has a very strong opinion on the wording of the bill, it would be a better idea to resubmit the bill as a motion, rather than to vote it down, just because that would delay the bill at 1 week rather than 2. That being said, I think that it's fine as is, and I'm in favor of the bill altogether.
Senator Richardson, Senator Reber with our last discussion.
I agree with parliamentary. Wait, how do you say that? Parliamentary? Parliamentarian for now. I think that if the bill is going to be revised in the near future, voting for it tonight would not do the organization any harm.
Senator Reber with our last discussion on that.
I do have one question. And I understand that the idea is that we're gonna pass this and then there'll be another piece of ledge that amends the ex officio definition. Will the amendments to the ex officio definition impact other ex officio members that aren't the advisor? Considering we have ex officio members that aren't.
Who's asked us?
Yeah, the advisors, so.
I think
Yes.
it would bring it in, yes, but it would bring it in line with what we currently practice.
Yeah.
Right? And there's no, official member that I think of that affects quorum, that can make motions. Not in practice at least, and so.
It's messy in practice and should be clarified, because I can remember the clerk making motions in CRC. It doesn't happen a lot, but the clerk is an ex officio member of CRC. The clerk is definitely called in attendance during CRC. So yes, and I mean, to further clarify to your question, part of the reason that we've, at least in practice, built in the idea that we're going to revise this legislation again is because I can say for my assumption, and I think President Bradley's making the same assumption, is a lot of this role will be greatly informed by the person who is hired by it or the person who is selected at its conclusion, and what the organization needs at the time. I can promise you right now, I would be in support of, if 2 advisors were picked, like a ton of revisions, whereas if 1 advisor was picked, probably not a lot of revisions. So that's why I think we baked into this process a great way for us to, by the end of the semester, revisit and ensure that things are going well.
President Bradley with a small final comment.
And I'll say, just if you're wondering the reason why we decided to go that route and not just wait till we have somebody selected, we need a process to select somebody. So that's why we had to build the process and looking at revisiting and adding changes, because we need a process to follow in order to pick an advisor. So we can't wait till we have an advisor. We need the process to get an advisor first. Thank you.
Sweet. We're on a discussion here. Go right into a vote. Okay. Madam Clerk, could you please call a roll call here on the bill itself? When I in favor of the bill, see the changes you see there. Take effect our standing vote, vote of nay, please vote it down. Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready.
Senator Lang?
Pass.
Senator Majors?
Pass.
Senator Patricus?
Nay.
Senator Purnell?
Aye.
Senator Richardson?
Aye.
Senator Reber?
Aye.
Senator Reyes?
Aye.
Senator Schrocknagel?
Aye.
Senator Vanderhyde? Aye. Senator Wheatman?
Nay.
Senator Giley?
Aye.
Senator Hernandez?
Aye.
Senator Lang?
Aye.
Senator Majors?
Nay.
Speaker Wilson?
Aye.
Oh, I'm so used to. I voted 10-3. Right. The bill has passed.
Wonderful. Alrighty, with that, we are on to new business. We don't have any. So we're on the announcements. The announcements for tonight, I got it. I heard the craziest thing earlier today. People are getting sick. It's bad. I do a lot of handshaking, so I'm going to start doing a lot of hand sanitizing as well. But take care of yourselves. Drink more water than you think you have to. Vice President Ryan.
So we still need 2 senators for the cleaning. It's super simple, coffee station, and then clean the fridge. Really, if the fridge is clean, then kind of just checking in on that. So if you would be willing, please see me after.
President Brandon.
One of my favorite holidays is a week from today, on Monday. It is President's Day. I just want to let you all know, we do like to celebrate President's Day in this organization. It's one of our favorites here. So just giving everybody the heads up. I quite enjoy President's Day.
What day is it?
Monday.
What's the holiday?
President's Day. Yeah.
Question from Deputy.
What about President's Day?
Well, one, it's George Washington's birthday, and as you know, the first president of the nation, I think it's pretty sick. Also, two, I'm the student body president, so it's just fun. It's fun to poke fun at President's Day.
Snaps for honesty. Director Rosequist?
It's also my birthday.
Oh! I am right now, public notice, I am suspending the food and drink rule next week in case there are treats for Director Rosequist's birthday. It's suspended. You can bring treats, cupcakes, maybe a little Kool-Aid, the Kool-Aid guy. Anything you'd like, you can bring it. Director Rose.
2 things to announce. So the Spring Career Fair is coming up. It's coming up on Wednesday, February 18th, and they're looking for volunteers. So if you're willing to volunteer, they need volunteers throughout the day. So that's 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they're really looking for volunteers during 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So if you're free, I recommend you go help. Second, and if you want to volunteer, contact me. I'll get you the form to sign up. The second thing is that the One Stop is holding a scholarship power hour this week Thursday from 3 to 7 p.m. in the UC Hamilton room. So I recommend everybody to apply for scholarships. There's so many scholarships that a lot actually go unclaimed, and so you can learn about how to apply for these scholarships, and that we'll have different college reps as well, so you can go to your different colleges and they'll be able to help you better fine-tune your applications for the specific colleges. With that, I yield.
A great WSG advisor once said, free money, folks. Senator Hernandez-Cortez.
As said before, the final MLK event is tomorrow. I highly recommend going. There has been a lot of work put into this event, and the speaker is going to be amazing. I will be there if anyone wants to join me, but I'm very excited to be attending, so if anyone wants to come with me, I guess you can email me or something.
Senator Dandelion. Wave's second meeting is this Thursday at 5:30. If you have nothing going on, you should go. The homecoming steering committee applications are still open. They will be open until March 1st. And then there's a ton of UC Live events happening. I believe there is a new feature called Pizza by the Slice at the Dub. So if you are hungry at a UC Live event, go to the Dub and get some pizza.
Deputy Speaker Patricus.
The pizza from Pizza by the Slice is not like the normal pizza from the Dove, it's a 16-inch that they cut into slices. So it's not like you're gonna quarter a regular pizza, you're gonna have the full slice.
Any other announcements? Going once, going twice. Before we go, a big thank you yet again, 2 weeks in a row, to Tony Schmidt and Chris Philhouse. Thank you so much for joining us. It was incredible. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. With that, we are on to adjournment. I need a motion to adjourn. Senator Reed.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded by Schroffnagel.
Second.
Can I get a voice vote? Are there any of you opposed? Seeing none, right here at 8:21.
I don't know what else.
Come on up.
No.
Dog is like,
Getting my day.
Dude, I never said a name more loud in my life.